You've tuned in to the Top 10 Gardener with garden expert Ken Lain. Join him daily as he answers timely garden questions that are sure to make a difference in your gardens. Now, welcome your host, Ken Lain.
The Echinacea have been stunning this last summer through autumn, and they continue to look fantastic. Now, Echinacea or coneflower is another name that just say your grandparents called it. Right now, its Echinacea has expanded to be so many colors and varieties. They're all a tall perennial. It's just shy of knee high. Got a big flower on it, about the size of a baseball, maybe a little bit smaller than that. This big cone-shaped center to it with petals that come out from there, and they're very bright. They're happy being a wildflower here. They actually spread, will kind of spill down a hillway, and they're good in that animals like javelina and deer and rabbits. They don't eat those. And so it's one of those truly wildflowers that have found ways to defensively keep the animals off of them so they can reseed. Now, for my echinaceas, I'm leaving the seed heads right now and letting them go fully into seed. So I've been deadheading or pinching off the spent flowers so they'll rebloom. They'll just continually bloom for months if you do that. But right now, because I want to help out my feathered friends that are migrating through, are going to spend the winter in my backyard, I'm letting them form a seed and I'll keep them there. I'll leave them upright, even though they'll turn a little brown by November or so. They'll start to go, when the freezes have got them to where they look brown or straw colored. They won't be in flower, but you'll see where the flower was, and it'll be this tan colored with a dark center to it. They're actually quite striking, even when they're hibernating underground. So the plant itself, a perennial, truly by definition, the roots will hang out underground and will rest. They'll come back bigger and better from that mother plant. That same plant will come back. And then many perennials, or most perennials, if not all, will actually reseed and spread across the yard. So that mother plant comes back from where it was and it spreads across the yard. So it makes babies out there. And then many of the birds will use that as a protein and just a food source throughout the yard. And so kind of the advice I can give you now is let your flowers go to seed at this point through October and keep them up out there as best you can until you really have to cut them back because they're bothering you, or the snows come and just get them all leaning over and they look kind of mangy looking. That's my cue. Cut them back. And so I'm not in a hurry right now. I'm in a hurry to leave them alone and let them go to seed. And so I had this beautiful called a sombrero sangria coneflower or echinacea. It's a bright orangey red. It's like very, very southwesterny. So this beautiful seed head in the center of it with these long petals that come down off of that. We've got yellows and whites. We've even got a green, a pure green. It kind of comes out green and then it fades to this beautiful purple color. So echinacea is a fascinating flower, perennial for here. If you're from California or these more deserty places, you couldn't really grow coneflower very well there. But here, they're almost like a weed. They're just too easy to grow. And that's how you care for them in your backyard. And so it's a good time to plant those, accessorize, add some color in your backyard. You're plenty of planting season left. That's kind of the best time of year to plant out in the yard. Well, throughout the week, Lisa and I camp out here at Waters Garden Center. We do love talking to fans of this show. If new neighbors are encroaching on your privacy, we have just the solution.
At Waters, we have an entire section of thick, bold plants dedicated to privacy.
Fall is a time to plant a new privacy hedge, and we're here as advisors.
Take a quick measurement and snap a picture before you come visit, and you'll quickly be living in privacy once again.
Plus, our team of experts know how to plant to increase plant growth next spring. We'll show you how.
Waters Garden Center. We know privacy in your backyard.
If you want a more fruitful garden, increased success in landscape that just feels better, then tune in daily to the Top 10 Garden Podcast. Years of tips, tricks, and garden shortcuts are guaranteed to make your gardens nicer than ever. Listen to this podcast or read Ken's weekly garden column by visiting watersgardencenter.com. That's Waters with 2 T's, gardencenter.com. Thanks for tuning in.